Are there any tasks or activities where you would advise against using ChatGPT, or at least where you're going to have to say, okay, we need to be careful here? Or are those days behind us now where there's really not many tasks where you wouldn't benefit from incorporating an LLM into the process?
Let's equate it back to humans, right? So you hire humans on your team to do tasks for you. Usually, you always have some layer of validation of what they do. And I think it's the same with machines. Like, this is not something where you can just give it a task and 100% blindly trust that whatever they do is good enough. And good enough could be the quality of writing, but it can also be the quality of data that they've used. And so I think if you put in place some of these MCPs and actions, that grounds the system in actual data. So it guarantees that their insights are going to be much more reliable. Not 100% accurate, but much more reliable. So that's one place to start. But the framework that I usually put in place is sort of like this. Think of LLMs as enabling you to have three outcomes. The first is you get it to do your existing work faster. And the beauty here is that you can tell it to do your work. You know how to prompt for that. And you can look at the output. And because you've done this work 1,000 times yourself before, you can very quickly pick up on potential mistakes or errors in the strategy that the tool took. And so you see that mistake, you know how to prompt it to fix that mistake. So if you're a programmer and you get back a piece of code and you scan it, you're like, oh yeah, obviously it's done the while loop wrong. You tell it, you've done the while loop wrong, go and fix it. And now you can see it. Okay, now it's right. So it works. So you become faster. Now, the second way to use DLLMs is to achieve new peaks, reach new heights. And this is the type of stuff like the seasonality analysis. So if you've always wanted to be a more analytical PPC person, but you've just never understood how to do the Python or the R script to do these things, well, you can ask it. But you can also ask it to explain, like, why did you choose this methodology? Like, how does this function work? Can you add comment to the code so that I can sort of follow along as a human, what it's doing at every step? So as long as you take interest and you're sort of vetting and learning along the way, you can do amazing things and you're going to achieve new heights. Now, the third way is the one where you say, do the seasonality analysis, put it into a screenshot, and I copy paste, I send it to my boss, and my boss looks at it and is like, this is completely wrong, because you took no interest. You just tried to take a shortcut, and that's going to lead to potential failure at some point. So that's where you have to be careful. So I think these LLMs, they can do almost anything, but you have to be there to look at what they're doing and how they're doing it, and sometimes challenge them. And one interesting little fact. So Stanford did this research about drift. Drift is the concept that in an LLM, because it's not deterministic, the same question is going to lead to the different answers at different points in time. So even if you ask it a mathematical question, it may give you back different answers. So in the earlier days of GPT, they asked, is this number a prime number or not? It got it right 80% of the time, the latest model in the beginning, and 3 months later, it had gone down to about 50% correctness, whereas the older model had actually gained in the number of times it was correct. And this is an interesting concept because, again, it says that because it answered it correctly today, there's no guarantee it's going to do it correctly tomorrow. So even from day to day, you have to keep vetting what it's doing. And one important point from that is if you get it to write a piece of code for you, copy and paste that code and save it. Once you've vetted it, save it and use that piece of code. Don't go back to the LLM to get it to rewrite the code because it's going to do it differently and it may break. So that's one point. And then the other point was even in the highest, the best scenario, it got the calculation correct 80% of the time, right? If we're looking at 10,000 keywords in our account and 20% of the analysis is wrong, that's a lot of mistakes. And that's bad, right? So that's where we still have to be always a bit careful.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Paid Media Lab. If you found it useful, you can get the full-length episode on the Lunio YouTube channel, where you can also subscribe to catch all our latest releases. And if you want free tools, reports, and guides to help you uplift the efficiency of your PPC campaigns, head to lunio.ai and click on the Resources tab in the nav bar. See you in the next one.